Our guest today is a California wedding and lifestyle photographer and lover of natural light. You can describe her work as bright, romantic, and timeless. I like that. She is passionate about documenting love stories just as much as she loves coffee on a Monday morning. When she is not photographing, she's either in an anthropology store pondering about her next home deco purchase, or in deco, right? How do you say that? You could say it.
Yeah.
Okay. Or out and about in LA trying to find the next go-to brunch spot. I would like to welcome Adriana Gonzalez to the Amani Experience podcast.
Hello.
Hello. So we always do a geographic check-in. So right now we're in our mobile studio in Manhattan Beach, California. Where did you grow up?
Where did I grow up? I grew up in the eastern, more east side of LA, Whittier area. Born in Mexico though, but grew up here in LA. Yeah, and just was raised here, and then moved away, and then came back again.
Right.
But we'll get into that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where were you born in Mexico?
I was born in Jalisco. A lot of people know Guadalajara, which is the capital of that state. It's kind of northern Mexico.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then, so you went to high school here, and then you went to
Yes.
UC, like Long Beach, right?
I went to Cal State Long Beach.
Cal State Long Beach, okay.
Yes,
And what was your major
Beach.
there? Go Beach.
Graphic design.
Okay.
So I got my degree in graphic design. Was in school for too long because I was trying to minor in French, which now since I don't practice it, is gone now.
No parlez-vous français?
Petit peu.
Okay.
Yeah, a little bit. But yeah, I was just in college. It seemed like forever. Yeah, 6 years.
6 years. That's okay. You finished.
I finished. I have a degree.
Tell us what happened when you took your only photography class in college.
It literally was the one class that I failed. So the reason why I failed it was because photography was not even in my mind at that moment. I was really focused in graphic design and taking all those courses, and in the same semester, which this, by the way, was my last semester of college, I was taking a web developing class, and that was so intense, like coding and all of that. So that had all of my energy and all of my I was just so stressed over that class that photography was just like an elective. It was just like the additional class that I just had to take. So I really didn't care for it, so totally got an F in that one. Didn't even try.
Didn't even
try.
How ironic is it that now you're like an extremely talented photographer?
I think that it's just life just making fun of me, and it's just the way it had to go. Yeah.
It is. Once you finished college, what happened next?
Once I finished college, I did the typical thing that college graduates do, is take off and go to Europe and backpack. So I took off for like a month. I went all over Europe, backpacking. Last night, we literally had no money, slept under the Eiffel Tower. It was the best experience of my life. But I think there was actually when I started developing my love for photography, because I took my camera. It was a stupid point and shoot camera, but I was so in love with it, and just like capturing all of our moments and taking pictures of everything that we were doing. And yeah, when I came back, I started editing those photos, and I was like really liking it. And I think that's where it sparked. And then with events that happened afterwards, it was like, yes.
Right. So you came back from backpacking, and then what was like your first sort of job once you had a chance to catch your breath?
So I came back without a clue of what to do with my life. I was a waitress. So I waitressed all my college years. And I think it was the best job to have, because it's like good money, paid for all of my books and for school. And they were very flexible with my hours. So after I graduated, after I went to Europe, I came back and I was like, okay, I need to stop waitressing. I've been here long enough. Like, I need to get like an adult job now. And so I stayed there as a waitress on the weekends only, but I was looking for jobs. And so I was so desperate. I was like, anywhere, I'll intern. I just want to get my feet wet in the industry and just kind of do some stuff. So I have a friend, she's like my best friend. And she was like, hey, I have a friend who has a photography business. He's Indian and he only does South Asian weddings, but he needs an assistant. And I was like, sure, I'll do it. Please sign me up. I'll do it. So at the same time, I was still applying to other jobs.
Right.
And so I got a job at a swimsuit company as a graphic designer there. So I got that job at the same time as I got the intern job with the photographer. So there was a point where I had 3 jobs. I was graphic designer Monday through Thursday. Friday I would go and intern for the photographer. And Saturday, Sunday I was a waitress in the morning, and then I would do events at night with the photographer as well.
Yes.
So now that I think about it in my 30s, I don't have the energy to do all that I did in my 20s. Like, I would not have that amount of energy. And so did that for a while, did the 3 things for a while, until finally I was like, okay, I need to cut one of these. First thing to go was the waitressing job. Even though I loved it, it was really nice. I actually don't mind waitressing. I had my regulars. They were so sweet. It was like older people.
Right.
And I just loved serving them coffee. They were so easygoing. It was just kind of like a fun experience. But I needed to be an adult, so definitely let that go. And so then just went full time with my graphic design job, and then all my weekends were consumed with events with the photographer. And so I started off just like helping him carry lights, light sandbags, like anything that I could help him with. Then he kind of taught me how to edit photos. So then I would just edit photos for him as well as going and assisting him during the events. And then until he was like, are you ready for a camera? Like, are you ready to do this? And I was like, yeah, let's do it. I had no idea how to turn on the camera. Like, I had no idea anything. He taught me every single thing that I now know was because of him. And so he started me off as like a 3rd shooter, where it's like you really don't need that shooter, but it's just fine, go ahead and be creative and take some shots. So I did that, and South Asian weddings, they're insane.
Right.
I mean, they're just very like stimulating to the eye because all the colors and all the garments that the brides wear, and then all the events that they do, the mendi, it's all colors, the henna. It's just a dream come true for any photographer. So I was privileged that I started off doing that kind of weddings, because that obviously was like turned quickly into my passion. So he made me 2nd shooter, and I was 2nd shooting for him for maybe like, I want to say like 4 months, 5 months.
Yeah.
And after that, he made me main shooter.
Yes.
So then he would book several events, like on a weekend, and he would send me off to one, and then he would do another event. So then I started, main shooting these events. These major events sometimes had like 500 people there. The Indian weddings are big.
Yes, they are.
They invite everybody and their mamas. So they're huge events. So obviously I had to learn quickly. And so I just was obsessed with this, And sometimes I was grateful enough to even travel around the US to do he would fly me out to do events in other states. And so, it was great. It was great.
So if I was to get Ahmed on the phone right now,
yes,
what would you say to him?
Oh my God, thank you. I'm never going to stop being thankful for him for everything he taught me, because the patience that he had, I'm not the quickest learner. So learning aperture, shutter, ISO, it was like math for me. It was like, it didn't make sense to me. It took a while to understand how lighting works and, how to photograph, with best times and just everything. He was just the most patient person that I've ever met, who just, he was amazing.
Just so listeners know, Ahmed is the gentleman she's been speaking about. He's the one.
Yes, his name is Ahmed. His company is AA Creation.
Mm-hmm.
He does wonderful stuff. Yeah.
Beautiful. When did you decide to go out on your own and just have it to go for yourself?
Ooh, so I've been doing this with Ahmed for like 2 years. I think it was 2 years. And at the same time, so I have an older sister. At the same time, she originally lives in Cancun, Mexico. But she came back to the States for a little while because her daughter was diagnosed with cancer, which is my niece. My niece is fine now.
Very good.
She's done so well. She's done with her chemo, obviously. That was so long ago now that it seems so far away. But while she was here in treatment, my sister went to school for broadcasting. And so she knew, about video, and she used to work at a TV channel also. So to try to kind of get her out of the whole hospital mindset, I invited her to one of the events to come and just help out, And the same thing, she came, Ahmed taught her video, and she was in love with it. And it coincided when, at that time, when I invited her, my niece got the green light to go home. She was done with chemo, everything looked great. So my sister was ready to go back to Cancun. And so she thought it was a brilliant idea for me to go along with her and just create a business there together and just do weddings there. It's Cancun, it's a destination area. People are getting married like all the time there. So I decided to leave my graphic design job, to leave my job with Ahmed, and just go.
All right.
Yeah.
And then you were there for how many years? 4 years, I believe?
4 years.
4 years? And then what inspired you to return to the LA area?
Oh my gosh. Well, Cancun is beautiful. It's paradise. And the weddings that I got to do there were out of this world. Like, I did weddings in caves and so many great locations, Tulum, and it's just amazing. But I feel like because I grew up here, I really missed this side of the world. And even though I speak the language, obviously I speak Spanish, that was great, but I just miss my friends so much, and my parents do live here. And so I thought that we reached a point in our business in Cancun where I was comfortable enough to kind of let my sister do it all, and we kind of created a team. So she does have a team there that's helping her, and she's still kicking booty there. And then I came back and started from scratch here, literally with nothing. Yeah.
And that was how many years ago?
It's gonna be 2 years now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice. So you've progressed pretty quickly in the 2 years you've been back.
Oh,
all right.
definitely. Yeah.
Yes, you have. So if we're gonna summarize yourself, you're gonna summarize yourself. Should we call you Adriana or Adri? What would you prefer?
So growing up, my family called me Audrey, but everybody calls me Adri because it's the most logical thing. Adriana, Adri.
Right.
But I grew up being called Audrey, so I go by it either way, whatever is easiest. So yeah.
Okay, we'll say Audrey. We're gonna summarize Audrey, 30 seconds or less. Where you are right now. How would you summarize yourself?
Where I am right now in life.
In life.
Well, it's 2019. I can't even believe it's not.
Time flies.
Yeah.
Yes.
I am happy. I am motivated, very motivated. I am satisfied with what I've done so far, but still wanting to keep pushing forward, keep doing more stuff.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Explain to us your desire. If you were to pick a second career, you'd want it to be in sketch comedy. How did that come to be?
So it's this weird thing. I grew up watching, I don't know if a lot of people remember, there was a show called Mad TV and SNL, and so I was obsessed with those shows and how they would do sketch comedy and they would imitate or impersonate other characters. I was obsessed with that. And so I've always loved impersonating people. I mean, I feel like when I drink, it comes out even more. So I'm probably not going to do any of that right now, but I really like it. I feel like if I hear somebody enough, I can start grabbing little bits of them and impersonate them a little bit. And it's just stupid, but I like to do it.
You love it. So there's no impersonations we can get you to do it right now?
No, not really. No.
Let me go look for my Jose Cuervo for a moment.
I know, right? Please. Then you'll hear all of my repertoire of telling people.
Yes, we're going to make that happen. Perhaps in part 2.
Yes. Yes.
In your opinion, what is important for creative professionals such as yourself and myself to succeed in today's business environment?
Keep your eyes on your lane. Do not look at unless it's for inspiration but don't look at it as a competition. More for inspiration and growth, but definitely stick to your lane. There's so much competition out there. If it just takes time out of your day to just look at what other people are doing and start comparing yourself, that's the worst you can do, is compare. It takes you nowhere.
So for people who are struggling with that, staying in their lane, comparison trap, what kind of advice would you give them to help them kind of get through that?
Listen, whatever you got to do, if you have to stop looking at social media for a while, then you just kind of have to. If you need to block certain things just to focus on you first and just give it all your energy, then that's what you have to do. I feel like social media really is just a big factor in comparison. It really does take a toll on a person.
Yes, it does. It's tough. But it's like a necessary evil when you're like your own
right,
business person. So it's
right.
like you gotta sneak
You
in.
have to be there. I mean, sometimes what I do is I log in, do what I have to do, and just try to not look around, too much, unless it's for, like I said, inspiration or something like that would help me grow. But yeah, it's hard, but it's doable.
Now, if we look at your career and we think about when the turning point was, when did you realize, like, I'm all in, this is gonna work, there's no looking back? What was the turning point of your career?
Oh my gosh. Well, I feel like when I came back from Cancun to LA and just started from zero, there was a point that I honestly was like, is this even doable? Am I able to do this on my own? Because in Cancun, I had my sister, at least, I had that motivation, I had that partner that I was doing it with. Now being back here in LA with much more competition than in Mexico and alone, and not knowing anybody of the industry, it was really tough and really shook me, and what made me think, like, am I doing the right thing? Should I be continuing doing this? But yeah, I think that was my biggest hurdle, I feel like that.
And how did you get through that?
Yeah, just by doing it. Just by doing it and not stopping. I feel like not stopping and even though it got hard, I just kept pushing at it and doing it, and yeah. I feel like there's still so much that needs to be done. So much.
Of course, that's good.
Yeah.
Why do you love what you do?
I don't know. No, for many reasons. I mean, I honestly always say that I have the best job ever because not a lot of people are lucky enough to like document happiest moments in people's lives. Like I get to do that for them. I get to do something for somebody else, which is so awesome and it's so rewarding to me. Obviously, I get to keep the photos obviously, but it's not for me, it's for them, and it's for them to keep forever. And I'm usually in a person's life when they're the happiest, where they're, either getting married or they're having a baby, it's just, I'm so lucky to be there for somebody else's life and just document those moments for them. So, yeah. And
then on the flip side, what is something that scares you?
What scares everything? You know what? I would have a different answer a few years back, but now as I'm getting older, I feel like it's not being healthy. I feel like I can do anything, but if there's something health-wise, like if I get sick or I can't do something, that scares me to not be healthy and do what I do.
Yeah, health as well.
Yeah, because then that really stops everything. Like you can't mess with your health,
What do you do to stay as healthy as possible?
I should probably do a lot more than I do. I mean, honestly, okay, last year was really, really bad, and I think that's why my answer is health this year, because last year I overworked myself, and I can't even tell you how many times I got sick by just not taking care of me, or eating healthy or all of that. So I feel like this year I really want to strive to eat healthier, drink more water. If I get sick, to take a day off and not try to power through it and just keep working and really listen to my body this year. Yeah.
In addition, what will you do this year to try to avoid getting burned out or overworking yourself?
Great question, and that's currently where I'm at. How to have a better strategy of how to run my business so it's more balanced, I guess, in a way. Because last year I think that was my biggest lesson, was how to not get burnt out. So I currently have an amazing assistant, so she helps me out. Good. And so it's kind of delegating a little bit more. I'm very bad at that, but I think I need to do it more to have a normal lifestyle and have social life and not be alienated by society with just work.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, good luck. You're gonna do it. I have confidence in you.
Hopefully.
Now, as you spoke about before, the photography space is immensely crowded. It's very crowded.
Yes.
And you kind of talked about this before, but I'll ask the question in this way. What do you do to rise above all the noise and distinguish yourself from the competition?
So that's really hard because I feel like everybody's doing their own thing in their own way and everybody's very talented. I just feel like I really value customer service, and I try to create a relationship with somebody in a personal level, not so much as vendor and client, but as human to human. And so I feel like connecting with people and asking them things that are like normal, not so much like, oh, what's your wedding budget? It's more like, you know, how are you guys doing? How were your holidays? Or tell me more about you. I feel like creating a connection in that way, in that level, stands out a little bit from just a vendor, you know?
Yeah, definitely. Tell us about how has a failure or an apparent failure set you up for later success? Do you have a favorite failure of yours?
A favorite failure. I don't know if this is a failure, but just the whole starting over again, you know, taught me so much. It humbled me because in Cancun, you know, with our business there, you know, I left it at its peak. It was doing very well, and just coming back here, like I said, with like nothing, was very humbling. And so I don't know if that's a failure, but I think it was good in a sense that if I had stayed in Cancun, maybe I would have been burnt out, or maybe I would have reached a limit where maybe I wanted something different. So this was like a fresh start for me, and so it was good that I kind of had to do this all over again, because now I know so much more that I thought before. I'm like, oh, I knew, and now this experience is like, no, I know nothing at all. Like, no, there's so many more people that are way more talented here, and just, yeah, it just was great.
If we go back to say 2 years ago when you moved back,
yeah,
and apply maybe the top 3 lessons that you've learned in the past 2 years, what would you have done differently?
Not be so scared. Because I was so new at this industry, I was scared to just reach out and to ask for help. Yeah, like I didn't know how to collaborate with other vendors either. So if I was to go back in 2 years, I would definitely ask for help, you know, network more, communicate more with other vendors. Yeah, definitely.
Great advice. You've had a lot of success, and you continue to have more success. With success comes critics, or haters as we call them. How do you handle your critics?
I mean, knock on wood. I don't know if you guys can hear that. I'm literally knocking on the wood table. I haven't, or not that I know of, had any like real haters. Hopefully never, because I'm very sensitive. No, but I haven't really. But I feel like if I was, I feel like I try not to really give that attention unless it's constructive criticism. I do like to receive, because obviously I want to grow, I want to improve. But negative criticism, I feel like it's just kind of go on the back seat. I don't have time for that.
Let it roll off your back.
Yeah.
Tell us about the darkest time of your life, how you got through that, and what did you learn from that experience?
Where are the tissues for my
I have some
issues?
in my book bag. Don't worry, I have some in my book bag.
I would say not this past December, but the December before that. So I was engaged.
Yes.
And called it off. And so working in the wedding industry, it was kind of hard to deal with, because you, as a photographer, you see people in love all the time and getting married and having these fairy tale stories. And as a photographer who currently just called off an engagement, you know, it was a struggle, but it just, seeing those couples being so happy was like, yeah, it's possible, it can happen. And I just learned so much from it. So much of, I learned that I have so much more strength than I thought I had, because I was still trying to run my business as I was going through these emotional, you know, issues. Yeah, that was hard.
I can only imagine.
Yeah.
What do you do now to kind of keep hope? Like, you know, because that probably, you know, it's tough. You're here, you're in the industry, everyone's getting married, everyone knows you're engaged.
Right, that's another thing.
Then
yes.
You're not engaged. So.
When I got engaged, obviously I announced it. And so now that I'm not engaged, it's like, and I hate to be like that sappy story that people pity and like, oh, I'm so sorry. And it's like, no, don't be sorry. It just means that something better is coming. And, you know, if there was a problem or if there was an issue, like, then I'm done with that. You know, I move forward, things happen. I think that is what I've learned the most, is things happen for a reason. Timing is everything. Timing is, sometimes obviously we don't understand why it's happening, but now that it's been a year since that happened, I am so like, wow, of course it had to happen. Like, there's no other way. Of course it had to happen. So I think just understanding as days go by that it had to happen, and just that my life is headed in a better way, or there are bigger things for me in the future, is what keep me going.
Well done.
Yeah.
Better things are coming. Many people who were running their own business as an entrepreneur with one or two people working with them, that would have completely thrown them off. They would have stopped.
Mm-hmm.
How were you able to keep going?
I think I did the opposite. I think that I totally just immersed myself in work just to be distracted. And yeah, I had two options: either, totally not care about anything and just go in my dark, bubble and, stay there, or be productive as I'm going through this. And it was actually the most productive I've been, because I had no other distractions other than myself. And so, yeah, I just gave my business so much more attention. But again, nothing in excess is good. So I have to balance it out and make time for social life. And that's what I'm currently still trying to figure out.
Good. This is true.
Yeah.
Who was the most influential person for you growing up?
I feel like just a lot of people are very influential for different things. I think number one, my parents, obviously, because they're just amazing, and they had, the typical story of, they're from Mexico, they come to the US for a better life for them and their family, and so just seeing how they started the same as I started here with, with nothing, but they had kids. I don't have kids. So just the fact that they came here with nothing and with 3 kids is insane. So definitely they're big motivators in me doing this. Yeah.
Good. All right. Anyone else come to mind?
Like I said, I feel like it's just different people for different things. I feel like just positive people, funny people inspire me. Just, it's just staying away from the negative Nancy's.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Very true. What do you find easy to do that your friends find hard to do?
I think my friends think I'm crazy because I drive so much for work. Like, they're just like, you're insane for driving that much. I actually don't mind driving. I don't know if it's because I'm from LA and you kind of have to drive all the time. But, they're just like, how do you drive so much? And, some days I'm like just on Monday, I was in Irvine, then I went to Pasadena, then I went to Culver City. And that's just a Monday, for me. And so, yeah, they think I'm crazy. Yeah.
You described and defined 2018 as unimaginable.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us why, and then I want to know what word
you
is
did
going to...
your research.
Thank you, I did.
Yes.
What word is going to describe 2019?
What I'm going to describe 2019?
Yeah, but first go back and say, why did you describe 2018 as
Oh
unimaginable?
my God. It was the craziest year of my life for my business. So I got booked. First of all, the fact that I got booked for weddings, again, I'm still very I know it's been, I've been in doing photography for 7 years now.
Yes.
But again, I felt like when I moved from Cancun to LA, it was start over. So it's been 2 years since I've been back. So the fact that there are so many photographers that are amazing, there's so many options for brides that I get booked at all, is just amazing. I'm so thankful. But yeah, I got 2 destination weddings last year, one in Spain and one in Greece. It's unreal, unimaginable. I never thought, I never had the intentions of being a destination photographer. Even though I kind of was in Cancun, but I was in that destination. But never thought that I would get those experiences, the things that I've seen, the places that I've traveled to, and just the experiences that I've gotten, opportunities that I've gotten this year. 2018 year were crazy. I never imagined I would be doing that.
I recall seeing the photos of Greece too. Those were breathtaking.
Oh my God.
Yes.
It is. You guys have to go to Santorini. Greece. But the wedding was in Santorini, and literally when I got there and just seeing the views were just breathtaking. Everybody should experience that kind of a view once in their life.
It's on my bucket
list.
list.
You need to do it. You need to do
Make it happen.
Yeah.
What's our word for 2019 going to be?
Ooh, I don't. So, I can say a word now, and it's probably going to be something different by the end of this year.
Yeah.
But I would really want to have, balance. I feel like just last year was heavy work-wise and heavy emotionally, and it was heavy in all kinds of ways. And so I feel like this year is more of just being stable and balanced and just,
Yeah. You survived. You're still here standing.
Yes.
So you're good. You're
yes.
good.
Yes.
When you were 21, you were at, CSU Long Beach,
Yeah.
waitressing tables.
Yeah.
We're going to go back and talk to 21-year-old Audrey.
Oh my god.
And we're going to get some advice from you now to your 21-year-old self. What advice would you give your 21-year-old self?
Oh, girl. Girl. You just have no idea what's coming for you. Like, I would just say, be happy. Don't sweat the small stuff. I feel like I would just stress out over everything and just be like, I just would tell her, just don't stress the small stuff, and you're going to be good. You're going to be stronger than you think you are. And just keep going. Yeah.
What is the one lesson in life that took you the longest to learn?
Ooh. I feel like I'm still learning it. I'm still trying to achieve it. And it's to say no. I'm very bad at saying no. I'm very people pleaser. I'm very, yes, I can do this, yes. And at the end of the day, and this was one thing that I also noticed in 2018, is that I said yes to so many things that it kind of, there are some things that I should have said no, and that would have been better for me than saying yes. It's just, learning to say no to things, or learning to just say, you know what, that's not for me, or, I'll pass on that. Still trying to achieve it though. Yeah, but I feel like that's very important.
That's a very mature lesson, so we'll keep working on that as well.
Yeah.
Every great person has a sentence. What is your sentence? For example, my sentence would be, I love to help people unlock their creativity by teaching them how to DJ. What is your sentence?
I like yours. I would say mine is, be kind, it's gangster. I've seen that quote, and it's like my favorite quote, and it's what I live by. Like, there's no need to be mean, or, I feel like we're at a point in life and society that everybody's very, women stick together, and like everybody just be nice and be kind to one another, and now I sound like Ellen DeGeneres, be kind to one another. But it's true. I feel like if you're just a kind person and you're just nice and you just smile, and it just makes things easier. So just being kind. Yeah.
Excellent. What is one new habit you've added to your daily routine in the past year or so that has been most beneficial?
I have tried really hard to give Sundays off for myself.
I like it.
It's been very hard because I know a lot of people, have Sundays off and that's when they want to shoot, but I literally have no days off. And so I've been trying to give myself one day where it's just a me day, and that's been good. That's been really, really good. Or just learning to just turn off my computer at a certain time and just say, okay, that's it, and unplug. Just unplug, watch something stupid on TV or something, and just,
On your me days, what are some of your favorite activities that you like to do to kind of unwind and reset?
I love watching Friends, the show Friends. I can watch that show all day, every day. If I'm not watching Friends, I'm out either, like you mentioned in my intro, I love anthropology, I love interior design. Maybe in my next life, I'll be an interior designer, who knows? Love all of that, love just going out and just feeling the air and just being out and not stressing over work, even though it's hard when you have your own business, right. But just being out and just being social.
Okay.
Yeah.
Favorite character on Friends is?
Oh my god, all of them.
You have to pick one. You're gonna have dinner with them.
I feel like I can choose a different one each week. I feel like today is Chandler, maybe. I love you, Chandler.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, he's pretty funny.
We are big readers on the Ahmed Experience podcast.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're going to pick 1, 2, or 3 books that you feel people should stop what they're doing right now and begin to read them immediately, what books would you recommend?
So it's called Badass by Jen Sincero.
Yes.
I really love that one. But the reason why I like it, it's just because it's so raw and it's so like, just like you understand, it's like a conversation and it really motivates you. And I also read the other one, the Money one.
Yes,
she has a few of them. And it's so true. I'm not a big book reader, and I probably should be more of a book reader and more of a podcast listener.
Okay.
Hello.
Okay. Hello.
But that book was an easy read. And I loved it, and I loved the message, so yeah.
Great. Speaking of podcasts, what are some of your favorite podcasts you like to listen to?
So, I love the Armchair Expert with Doug Shepard.
Okay.
I just love hearing their conversations, and when I just want to have a guilty pleasure, the Girl Gang. I mean, it's the worst thing, but I love listening to the girls. So yeah.
Those two.
Yeah, those two.
All right, we'll add those to the show notes. We love recommendations.
Yeah.
If you look, you've had a very adventurous, exciting, successful life so far. You're still very young, barely 30, and you're going to pick your most proud accomplishment so far. What comes to mind?
I don't want to sound like a broken record player, but
be the broken record player.
Yeah, just starting over again and just doing what I'm doing right now. I never thought it was possible because it's just little old me coming into an oversaturated, just community of like photographers. Yeah, I'm pretty proud of that.
Yeah, as you should be.
Yeah.
I admire your resilience.
Yeah.
Are you a big sports fan?
I like soccer.
Okay, football. Okay,
Yes.
What's your favorite football team?
Well, I mean, like I said, I was born in Mexico, so Mexico, I like their football team.
All right, so we're going to have a game. We're at the Rose Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Mexico's national team, women's team, is playing against the United States women's team, and they announce you, Adriana Gonzalez, is coming to the field to play. What song is playing as you walk out on the field?
Love on Top by Beyonce. Yes, that is the jam. And I've heard it so many times at all my weddings, but it never gets old.
It's a great song. I'll even put that song on at a club, and the ladies will
Oh,
sing along.
don't even get me started. That is the jam.
That's
I feel like, well, right now we're in a library. I feel like if you pump it up and like you put it on, people will stop reading their books and just get up to dance. It's
great song.
Yeah,
selection.
it's so good.
Wonderful. So before I ask you the final question, tell the people how they can find you online on our lovely social media and website.
Yes, you can go on my website at www.simplyaudreyphotography.com, or you can go on my Instagram, simplyaudreyphoto, and yeah, you can find me there.
Excellent. Check out our Instagram. It's got some beautiful photos up there, so that's great.
Yeah.
So before I ask you the final question, just want to say thank you for being a guest.
Thank you for inviting me.
Of course.
I was so nervous to do this. I'm so horrible at talking about me, but...
And how was it? Just flew by, right?
I mean, I guess so.
It did.
Yeah, it did. No, it really did. Yeah.
I admire your resilience. I also admire the fact that you took a risk to come back to LA and start again, and you were able to push through. I admire your work as well, too. You're extremely talented, so
thank you.
Keep it going. I'm glad to know you and get to know you better. We ask our final guests to leave us with any last-minute words of wisdom or advice. So I'll say thank you again and take us home.
Any last words of advice? Just, honestly, whatever you put your mind into, do it. No matter how stupid it might sound, no matter how crazy it might be to other people, just continue to do it. Stick to your guns. Don't let other people get to you. Stay in your lane. Don't look at what other people are doing, and just be you.
Amen. Thank you very much.
Thank you.